Okay, you guys, so this is going to be take a little getting used to for me. There's a little bit of a lag time on the video, so what you're seeing is like 7 seconds behind what I'm actually doing. So I'm just going to kind of keep going and go through things, and if you have questions, you will click on the live chat and you'll talk to me there, and then I will read the questions and answer them as we go. The things I'm going to be talking about I'll probably kind of present one thing and then look and see if there's any questions and maybe answer the questions in between pieces. So you're just going to have to bear with me. This is something new and we're going to try it and see how it works. If you are here and watching and you want to like say hi, that would be great. It'll kind of help me know that I have people that are participating. So we're going to get started, and I'm just going to go through the list of what I put in the email of what we were going to talk about tonight, and feel free to ask questions. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get started with, because a lot of what we're doing tonight is how to use your oils in your kit in everyday ways. We are going to talk about cleaning your empty bottles. So these bottles are already clean. I did that a while ago, so I have some empties, but I'm going to kind of show you the process so that as you have empties, you know what to do with them and how to save them, because they're kind of gold. You don't want to throw them away. So you can see here I've got a whole bunch of empty bottles that I started. And what you're going to do when you have an empty bottle, I just kind of keep mine in a Ziploc bag. You'll take off the caps and the dropper stopper, and you can throw those in because you can wash those and reuse those if you make a blend that you want to have come out in drops. And then you're going to put the whole bottle in there, label and all. And so I'm doing that. And then there's a couple of things that you can put in the bowl with the bottles to kind of help get the labels off. There is Young Living's Thieves Cleaner, which I'm going to talk about tonight. But before I had Thieves, I used oils for what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you how to do that too, because I was very happy with how the oils worked for cleaning a variety of things, including the bottles. But now that I have Thieves and I love it and use it, that's primarily what I do at this point. So I'm going to fill this up and put a couple drops of lemon oil in the bowl and just let these soak for a little while. I'm going to put hot water in here. Okay, so I've got enough water to cover all of my bottles, and I'm just going to put like 3 or 4 drops of lemon oil in there, and that oil will just kind of help break down the labels. I have also used just regular dish soap to get the labels off and get the bottles clean, and as well as, like I said, the Thieves Cleaner. And the Thieves Cleaner I do the same way. I just put a little bit of a squirt in there. You don't need a lot. It just helps break down the labeling. So, okay, so those are gonna soak for a little while. I usually let mine soak for probably a half an hour or so while I do something else, and then I'll come back to them. And so I'm going to put them aside and let them soak, and then I'll kind of show you just how I take the labels off and what I do with them after that in a little bit. So that's what we do. And then the end product after doing that are these label-free bottles, which works great for making blends for a variety of uses. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just kind of how I make different roller bottle blends. I'm going to kind of demonstrate one of my blends tonight, and then I'll show you. I have like a little pack that I carry in my purse that has a variety of roller bottles, and I'll just kind of tell you what's in them and what I carry with me all the time. So one second here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what I'm making a blend for. And today I'm going to make kind of a seasonal blend, something that will help as the seasons are changing. And what you have in your kit that benefits that are lemon, lavender, and peppermint are a great seasonal trio. Other things that also benefit that, these are the three I'm going to put in the blend, are RC, which is a eucalyptus blend. It supports your respiratory system. And purification, I've actually really liked for supporting my respiratory system as well for seasonal stuff. So, but I'm going to do these three. When I started out making blends, I kind of looked for what I needed. I would go through my reference guide, look for a particular thing, and then see what kind of oils I had on hand. And then I would use like all of those oils and put them into a blend, and it was kind of like I was looking for the bigger effect. So it was like, okay, anything I have on hand, I'm going to throw at it. And now, as I've gotten more comfortable with using my oils and understanding a little bit more about each particular oil, I've gotten to where I don't necessarily put everything into one blend. So like I was saying, there are other oils in the kit, and you might try something and find that, like I said, purification, you might say, oh, well, that's the one that I really like in the springtime as things are changing, and so you'll add that to your blend, or RC might be your preferred one. So it just kind of depends on your personal preference, really. Okay, so for a smaller bottle, which is the size bottle that comes in your kit, you're going to want to, I say like 20 to 30 drops of essential oil is what I'm going to go for in this size of a bottle. If you're using one of the larger 15 milliliter bottles, then I'm looking for about 50 drops of essential oil, and then I fill the rest with a carrier. This has become kind of like my new favorite. I don't know if you can see that. It's the Levin Rose jojoba oil, and it just has a really nice feel on your skin. It's very gentle. So that's that. Okay. So I take my cleaned empty bottle, and so I'm looking for 30 drops, so I'm going to put in 10 of each. Since I've got 3 oils, I'm just going to split it down the middle. You know, like I said, if you have one oil that you feel like is more beneficial, you could do more of that one, less of another one. There isn't like an exact science to how much oil you put in here. Like if you get, you know, a couple extra drops, you're not going to hurt anything, or if you use a little bit less, you're not going to hurt anything. So, you know, don't be nervous about it. Just know that like you can do this. It's really simple, and you don't have to be like super meticulous. Okay, so I got 10 drops of lemon, lavender, and peppermint in there. One thing to note, and I didn't know this for a while and it kind of frustrated me, is that if you look at the top of your dropper, there's like a tiny little hole in the edge, and that's where the oil actually comes out. It doesn't come out of that middle part. That's where the air helps the oil to come out. So you're looking, if you tip your bottle and you've got that hole at the top, it's going to take a long time for the drops to come out. And if you have it at the bottom, they're going to come out really quickly. So I found before I knew that, I was like, sometimes I was getting a lot extra of a particular oil, and other times I was sitting there holding my bottle waiting forever and it wasn't coming out. So that's just a little tip for you, because it bugged me when I didn't know that. And then once somebody told me, oh, there's this little hole where the oil comes out, I was like, oh, that makes sense. So, okay. So I've put in 30 drops of essential oil, and I've got this 11 Rose, comes in these nice little dropper things, which makes it really easy to get the oil into the bottle without spilling, overfilling, making a mess, that kind of a thing. So I'm just gonna put in as many droppers as it takes to fill my bottle up. And then, so there we go. I filled it up to, about that rim. It looks like I need a little bit more in there now, actually. So I'm going to put a tiny bit more. Okay, so that is in there. And, okay, so these are the Young Living roller tops. And you get one in your kit. A lot of people put it on Stress Away and just use Stress Away as a roller. That's a great use for it. You can order them in a 10-pack for $10. So when you use empty bottles, and then these roller tops are about $1 a piece, they're really like the best deal for a roller bottle that you can get. And they work the best. So that I was just showing, I had put it on here. To put it on, you just set okay, here's my one that I put the oils in. Set the roller top on there, and then you're just going to screw the cap down until it clicks. And sometimes they're a little finicky, and I found that I screw it a little bit, and then I'll unscrew it and check it. And that time it clicked down. You can see there's no gap between the black part and the bottle, and it's on there. So now I have a roller bottle, which is cool. And when this is done and I want to wash it and clean it, these roller tops are totally reusable, and you just use the cap like a little lever, and it pops the roller top right off, and then you can put it right back on. So with that one that came in your kit, if you decide to switch it around and use it on Stress Away, and then maybe you put it onto something else, you can just very easily clean it. Same way that I'm cleaning the bottles today, you can clean these roller tops and reuse them. So now that I've got this bottle, the last thing that I want to do is I want to make a little label. So I really like this printed masking tape that you can get all over the place now. So I'm going to call this my seasonal roller. Being compliant, because that's always a good thing. And then I'm going to label it with what I put in here. So I've got lemon, lavender, and peppermint. So labeling is important, because when you make something that you really like and then you run out of it and you can't quite remember what you put in that bottle, if you labeled it, then you will. And if you do like I do, where my my goal for making a roller is about this many drops, then even though I didn't write my exact recipe of this many drops of this and this many drops of that on my label, I know because of how I do things that, you know, that I've got 10 of each in this bottle. Some people might, you know, take the time and write 10 lemon, 10 peppermint, 10 lavender on there. That's just, you know, whatever you prefer. So, but now it's ready to go. And this I would use across the bridge of my nose or around my ears, just to support my respiratory system during the seasonal changes. So, okay, so that's how you make a roller blend. I will, let's see here. Another way that I make blends is with coconut oil. I started out using coconut oil for pretty much everything, and I really like that it remains solid. So I've got a little half pint, or no, this isn't a half pint. This is like one of those small jelly jars. It's like 4 ounces. It's a half cup, basically. And I put, you know, enough coconut oil in there that I can still mix it around once I add the oils, and still leave a little bit of room to stir and stuff like that. So I've got that much coconut oil in there, and my favorite one to keep on hand is lavender and frankincense. So in this amount of coconut oil, again, I'm gonna be aiming for about, I would say 30 to 40 drops of essential oil total. So because I'm splitting that between lavender and frankincense, I'm gonna put 15 to 20 drops of each of these. Show you the labels of each of these in here, and then I'm gonna mix it up. Okay, there's my frankincense. Okay, so I got the essential oil in there, and I'm just going to mix that around and get it all kind of evenly mixed up. Now, what I like to use, I kind of use lavender and frankincense for everything. It's a really good support for your skin. You know, any kind of very minor cuts and scrapes and things like that that just need something that would be soothing to them. You know, my kids skin their knees out on the driveway when they're riding the ripsticks or whatever, and we just put lavender and frankincense on everything. So works really great for that, and it's very, very soothing. I also use it as my base for my other blends. So a lot of times, you know, I might have I've got lavender and frankincense mixed up, and then, you know, maybe we're just needing some extra support in our immune system. So I'll take a little bit of this, you know, you can see that's actually kind of a lot. Just a little tiny dab, put that in my hand, and then I will add just a drop of thieves to that to support our immune system. And I'll rub that together, and I'll put it on my kids' feet, or really kind of anywhere, back of the neck, down the spine is a good place to absorb, absorb for immune support. So that's what I do with that. But I use lavender and frank as my base because both lavender and frankincense have a good variety of natural occurring chemical constituents that are very supporting to all of our body systems. So having that as part of what I'm doing, whether it's for my respiratory system or my immune system, or whether it's for my skin, it's just a really good base. So there you go. I mixed that up, and now it's ready to be used whenever I need it. And I just put one of these, it's just a little jelly jar, so it's really convenient, easily reusable glass, because you always want to use glass or stainless steel with essential oils. And then again, I'm going to put a little label on top. Most things, I'll be honest, I've gotten to where I know the smell of my oils enough that if I forgot to label something, or if I've given something to somebody else and the label got taken off, or I don't know, or maybe I just didn't have a label with me, and so I was just giving them one particular thing, but I couldn't quite remember later what I put in the blend. Because I know what it was used for, I have a good idea of what I would have put in there, and then I can smell it and tell fairly easily what is in there. So like this, even if I didn't label it, I could open it up and go, oh, that's my lavender frank that I use for everything. But I'm going to label it because it's a good idea. So, and the other thing is that my kids use a lot of oils on their own. They'll come and say, hey mom, I need something, what should I grab? And I can tell them, grab the lavender and frankincense. And so then they know what jar to grab and what to use if it's labeled. So that's, labeling is just a good idea. Okay, so, and actually I even have some little circle labels, so I just didn't grab those out, but that I used for my jars too, and that's a little bit, just fits better, but this works too. So there we go, lavender and frankincense. Okay, let's see, what else are we gonna do here tonight? We have, okay, so cleaning sprays. I was telling you guys about this. Kind of excited. Okay, so I just had it warmed up here, a little bit, and we have 2 bathrooms that have an outside wall that are on the same side of the house. They're, one's above the other one, and it warmed up, and all of a sudden we had ants like crazy. So I did what I do, which is I got online and I just Googled. Google can be your friend for a lot of things. And what I found was that peppermint and clove can help with deterring ants. So here's a good little tip for you. So you have peppermint in your kit. You don't have clove all by itself, but you do have thieves. And thieves has clove in it. So when I first got my first kit, one of the things that I did is, as I was looking for solutions to particular things, I realized that I didn't always have the single oil that was listed, but I almost always had an oil that had some of those oils in it, which is really cool because you can take that oil blend and you can use it, and it will benefit what you need with extra support from the other oils that are in the blend. So, I'm going to make I'm going to make a different spray, but I just wanted to tell you about that because I was excited about it. It worked really well. I scooped up and killed the ants that were in the bathroom at the time, and we had been getting more and more. And then I got, probably 30 or 40 ants that were just all over the place. Scooped them up, killed them, flushed them down the toilet. And then I sprayed around the baseboards along that outside wall. and no more ants. They're gone. So pretty awesome. Okay, so that's one spray. The outdoor spray, this is the one I'm going to make because the seasons are changing and things are warming up, and we want to have something that we can use that is chemical free and that works outside. So what I do for that in the summertime is purification. Purification has citronella in it, so that's familiar to most people that citronella is a beneficial thing. However, I'll say this, I had citronella candles at different times, and I never really felt like they did much. So when I read about purification and essential oils and using them in an outdoor spray, I wasn't really convinced that they were going to be effective, and I just needed to test it out because I was kind of like, maybe in a state, we lived in Illinois for a little while, and the mosquitoes weren't too terrible down there. But Minnesota's like a whole nother ball game. So I wasn't sure if it would really get the job done. It does. Okay, so making a spray, this would work for the indoor spray that I just talked about, and this works for the outdoor spray. You're just going to get a little bit of salt, regular salt. You can use anything. And what the salt does is it helps the oils to disperse in the water, because otherwise, when you put the oils in and then you put water in, now you have oils that are separated and sitting on top of the water, and then when you spray, what you're spraying is mostly water until it gets all the way down to the bottom. But if you put the salt in and then add the oils to that and then add the water, which is what I'm going to do, then you can shake it up and it disperses the oils in the water. So you just are going to put, actually I'm going to use a little measuring spoon because, let's see here, because that'll just make it easier. So this is a little 1/4 teaspoon, and that's really all you need. You don't need a ton of salt, and you don't have to fill that. I probably put it halfway, just enough to get it in there. And so I put that in the bottom. And then what I'm going to do, again, about the same amount as what I was looking for with these smaller roller bottles, is I would say about 30 drops of oil in here. So we talked about thieves is a good one for repelling and for outdoor indoor spray. It also works well for outdoor things. Peppermint is excellent for that as well, and so is purification. So I'm going to put purification and peppermint in it because that's what I've used and really, really liked. The spray that I made for in my bathrooms, I actually have just plain clove oil, so I used clove and peppermint, but if I didn't have that, I would have put thieves in it. So that is that. Okay, so I'm going to put peppermint is really strong smelling, so I'm going to offset this a little bit. I'm going to go for 30 drops, so I'm going to put about 20 of purification and 10 of peppermint. Okay, so sorry, I can't talk and count at the same time, so that's that. 20 of purification, 10 of peppermint. Okay, and then some recipes I've seen say distilled water. I haven't really found anything that says why you should use distilled water. So I've just used my regular tap water and it's worked just fine. That's all I have to say about that. But so I'm going to fill this up and then I'm going to put my spray cap on. Okay, so got my spray cap on there. Again, these are little glass bottles. You can buy them on Amazon. There's a company called Abundant Health, and they have a lot of glass bottle products for using with essential oils. And then what you're going to want to do is anytime you're going to use this, you're going to shake it up because just to kind of get it mixed. The oils will stay dispersed enough that you can that you'll get the oil and the water when it sprays out, but you want to shake before every use. The other thing that I realized last year when we were using our outdoor spray is that it evaporates pretty quickly. So I found that I would go out and I could see that I wasn't getting bothered, and then after a little while, it seemed like maybe it kind of worn off, and then we needed to reapply. So what I started doing last year was, because it's summertime and we're hot, and so we're not wearing long sleeves and stuff all the time, I would use the spray for our clothes because it was the smell, which is, what deters things, would stay on our clothing. And then any bare skin that we had, I would make a roller bottle like this with the same oils that I put in the spray, and I would roll that on our bare skin. And I mean, really, it was a very enjoyable summer that way. So, okay, so again, I'm gonna make my little label here. Okay. I put that on my bottle so that I know what's in there. And then, let's see here. Okay, so we've got our indoor and outdoor spray. We talked about that. And last couple of things. Okay, so cleaning. Now this is, again, another thing. Like I told you at the beginning, I started using my oils for cleaning initially. And then I purchased Thieves Cleaner, and I love it. And it's easy, and I can use my oils for other things. So now I just use my Thieves Cleaner. Thieves Cleaner is an incredible bargain. For this whole bottle, you put one capful in, and then you fill the rest with water. It comes out to be like pennies per ounce of cleaning power, and this is an all-purpose cleaner that you can use in your bathroom, in your kitchen, really anywhere in your house. I would wash my floors with this. I add it to my laundry sometimes. It's just like amazing. So that's that. But I'm going to show you what I did with the oils because it worked really well too. And I know that you already have those on hand with your kit. And so I want you to be able to know that you can easily put what you have to use. You don't feel like you always have to buy another thing to be able to accomplish what you want. So what we're going to do with the cleaning is you're going to want, and look at my jumbo vinegar. So you're going to want, I like the distilled white vinegar for cleaning. You can also use apple cider vinegar, which has some other good benefits, but I just feel like this gets the job done and it's less expensive. So you're going to use 1 part vinegar to 1 part water, and then we're going to have 15 to 20 drops of essential oil. Now, the oils that you have in your kit that are good for cleaning are Thieves and Lemon. So I'm going to put both of those in here. And again, just to help it to disperse in the liquid, I'm going to put a little bit of salt. Because, let's see here, there's a little water in there, just a second. Okay. Because you're adding oils, you want that salt always to help it disperse. So I just put some salt in there, and then I'm going to drop my oils down in there. Okay, so I've got my lemon oil. And my thieves oil in there. And then it's going to be half vinegar and half water, like equal parts. So I need a funnel because otherwise I'm going to spill all over the place. Okay, so got my funnel on there. I'm going to fill with halfway with vinegar. And then I'm going to fill the rest with water. Okay, and then I'm going to add my spray bottle. So, and again, same thing with this. Before I use it, I'm always going to shake it. So that's just going to kind of help it to mix. You know, a lot of cleaners and other products you use, they add stuff to them to keep them from separating. And, you know, it's a convenience thing, really. But, and I think, you know, I've noticed with my shampoo and stuff that I've made at home, that having it not separate is kind of a nice thing. Like when you buy it at the store, it doesn't separate. So I can see how that's preferable. But with cleaning stuff, it doesn't bother me at all to shake it up. And I actually feel like it works better, to be honest. I used to use regular cleaners and bleach and things like that, and I was always nervous about mixing the chemicals and having fumes that would come from that, and now I don't have to worry about that. And I can give this to my kids, and I can let them clean up their own messes. They can help around the house. I can clean, and I don't have to worry about what's being mixed in there because I know exactly what's in here. So you just shake it up, and then you can use whatever kind of rag, anything that you use. I really like Norwex cloths, and I will use this alongside them. So there's a lot of cleaning I do with Norwex where I just use water and my Norwex cloth, but there are sometimes where I really want a cleaner. And that isn't because I don't believe the Norwex cloth can do it. It's just, I don't know. I think it's kind of a mental thing, to be honest. But I like being able to have something to spray on it. And sometimes I feel like the cloth can't quite get into little corners of places in the shower, things like that, where you can spray a cleaner in there. And so this is helpful. Okay, so that is that. And then the last thing I was going to show you how to do tonight is, I was going to finish showing you those bottles, and I am going to show you just a little bit about your diffuser. And the reason why I'm talking about this, some of you might think, oh, the diffuser is simple and it didn't, I don't know, it doesn't confuse me or whatever. I took a little while after I got my kit to use my diffuser. I didn't realize how much benefit it had, and so I just didn't use it very often. And then once I realized how easy it was and how beneficial it was, I have it going all the time. So I'm going to grab my diffuser, it's right here, and I'll show you just the basics of filling it up, adding the oils, and turning it on and the different functions of it. So just to kind of simplify things. Okay, so let's see here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I've got my diffuser here, and it's already running. And you can see the light is on. I just push the button. Okay, so we'll shut it off. And then you will see inside your diffuser. So rather than having to look inside my diffuser, you can just get yours out and take it out and look at it and see how this works. There is a little red dot inside your dewdrop diffuser. You're going to fill the water up to the top of that dot. I would say it's about a cup of water. And then you're going to add your oils to the diffuser. So since it's evening time and I am just wanting to relax and settle down for the night, I'm going to add lavender. We like it for sleeping. I also like to add orange and frankincense to it with lavender. Orange doesn't come in the kit, but it's a cheap oil and I love it. So you should get some. Okay, so there, I've got my lavender in there. So you fill your water up to the red dot. You add your oils. I'm in my big living room, kitchen, open space. So I usually put, I would say 8 drops of oil in here for this space. In my bedrooms or my kids' bedrooms, because it's a smaller space and when they go to bed, the door's shut and that just really contains all of the aroma. I will probably only put maybe 4 drops in there. I just found that it doesn't need a lot more. So I've got the water in there. I added the oils. I put this first cover on, and then the second cover has a little notch on the bottom of it. You'll see the notch, and then on the actual diffuser, you'll see the little notch that sticks out. So you just want to line those up, put that on. I've got it plugged in, and then if you push the button one time, your light is going to be on and your diffuser is running. If you push the button a second time, now the light is off and the diffuser is still running, which I like for nighttime. I don't really care for having a night light, but some people like the little light for a night light. And then if you push the button a third time, the diffuser is off completely. So it's a very simple machine. Doesn't take much. All you want to do is you just want to fill to that red dot and then push the button as many times as you desire and let it go. And it will shut off automatically when the water runs out. So I'm going to turn it back on and let it go there. Okay, let me see here. I think I've got a question. Okay, yes, the plastic in the sprayer bottle is okay. And here's why. Okay, so when you talk about using citrus oils in your water for drinking, they say always, always, always you want to use glass or stainless steel. I even have stainless steel straws rather than a plastic straw. And that's because those citrus oils are so concentrated and they are able to kind of break down the petrochemicals that are in the plastic, and you don't want to be drinking that, okay? In the other thing is that when I add oils to my water, I just add them straight to my water. So they kind of sit on top and they're kind of concentrated on the top. But when you add them to the cleaner, you're adding them with salt and it's helping it to disperse, and that makes the oils to actually be diluted in that water, whereas the water that you're drinking, it's not diluted in there. So the oil doesn't all sit in one spot when it's mixed with the salt like that, and that helps it to not break down those plastic pieces. So it works. And for cleaning, I guess I feel a little bit different about the plastic pieces than if I'm consuming it. So, but yeah, I haven't had any issues with my plastic sprayer on the glass bottle. the glass bottle seems to be a good idea just because you wouldn't want that to break down part of your bottle. I guess the other thing is, I'll say this too. Thieves Cleaner has thieves oil in it, or thieves blend oil in it. And so, and it's in a plastic bottle. So I think you can get a high quality plastic that won't break down and use it for cleaning purposes and feel safe and comfortable doing that. I know some people who have bought just a plastic spray bottle at Walmart or Target or whatever and use that with Thieves Cleaner in it. I don't know how much of a difference it makes if you're mixing up the oils themselves in a plastic bottle. But I bought the glass on Amazon just because it's available, and I thought, okay, that's what I'm supposed to use. And I haven't had any issues with the plastic sprayer part. So, oh, last thing. Here, I was forgetting about this. Okay, so once your oils have sat in, or your empty bottles have sat in your water with a little bit of oil in them, you can take them out, and the labels actually come off pretty easily. And you can just peel those labels off, and it doesn't really leave. Sometimes there's maybe just a little spot of like the sticky residue, but really hardly any is left on there. So I just take the labels off. I toss those because whatever's going to go in this bottle isn't under that label anymore. So I'll just peel those off, and then I will, once I'm done doing that, I'll rinse these bottles and in some warm water and get them really good and rinsed, and then I will set them out to air dry like overnight, because that you want them to be dry before you make new blends in them. Because the blends you're going to make in a roller bottle like this are going to be have a carrier oil. They're not going to have water in them, and so if there's water left in your bottle, that's going to separate and kind of just be a funky thing that's in there. So you want to get those labels peeled off, and then you'll rinse them, and if there's any residue of the adhesive left, you can kind of scrub on that with your hands, but it comes off really easily. And then you'll just rinse these. You'll dump this water out and rinse these, and then let them dry, like upside down on like a drying rack or a towel or whatever you dry things on. So, and then they're ready to go. And I just keep mine in a plastic bag in my oil cabinet. And whenever I'm making a new blend, or I want to be able to share a roller with somebody or something like that, I have the bottles ready to go. And it's really simple. So I usually kind of let mine accumulate until I've got a few, but like with your kit and stuff like that, if you get to where you're wanting to make blends and you've got a couple of oils that you've used up, there's no reason that you couldn't just wash a couple of bottles and have them ready to make rollers with whenever you want. So trying to think if there's anything else you really need to know about what I'm doing with this stuff. Let's see here. I don't think so. Oh, I'll say this too, and this is something I've been meaning to try, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I had seen somebody post online about putting their empty bottles in a bucket of like Epsom salts, and then they let the salt kind of absorb any extra oil that might be in there, and then they take the bottles out and they wash them like this, but then they have these Epsom salts that like smell amazing because they've got all the little tiny last drop of oils that were left in the bottle in them. And so I've been meaning to do that. I just haven't gotten around to it, but that's an idea too. When you get empties, to just have like a bucket with Epsom salts in it that you could just throw the empties into and let the oils kind of soak into that salt. And then whenever you get around to cleaning your bottles, you just take them out of there and the salts are what's left over. So yeah, okay. That's all. I think we've answered questions. Does anybody else out there have any questions that you want to ask before I say goodnight? At all? Doesn't look like it. All right. Thanks for participating, you guys. This was really fun. I will probably be doing this more regularly as I come up with things that I think people want to hear about. And just if I get more questions about things where it seems like a little tutorial would be helpful, then I will put together one of these together and I'll send you an email. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.